to what extent that the relationships between human beings are based in power. Is that hierarchical structure based, like the basis, the fundamental base of human relationships? Do you think that's uniquely power? People live to impose power on others, or do you think there are other aspects that influence that the way we, shape that hierarchical structure and the way we live and the way we treat each other, the way we manifest ourselves, let's say, in society? Like, is it uniquely power? Because that's something
I
that.
can give really short answers to these small questions,
Okay,
and you can keep going.
go ahead.
So obviously, I don't think it's uniquely anything most of the time,
Right.
but I think there's a huge element of power.
But do you think that's the let's say the
dominant force?
dominant force?
I on a first knee-jerk reaction, I would say yes. Power is but it's not necessarily taking. Sometimes you give power to.
So you don't think it's, let's say, competence?
Say
Relationships.
we live in a democracy. You literally give power to one individual to rule over the others. You elected them. That's a way of giving power. That's a power dynamic. Even though they didn't.
If it was given, if this representative
doesn't matter. It was power. And that person has more power than I do. Next question.
But yeah, but okay. So within that example, who had the power? If the power was given, then
now somebody has power.
Wouldn't whoever gave the power be able to take that power back? If the source of the power is the people, let's say, that in a democratic manner gave power to one individual to be their representatives, who has the power here in this relationship, let's say? Now, if you're saying that this individual that was given power to, it's not looking after the best interest of the people, and it's using that power in a corrupt way to exert power and to gain more power, then yes, we can totally agree that this hierarchical structure, or the way people treat each other, or the way people interact, can be corrupted, because human beings are we can be corrupted, but I wouldn't attribute that to the essence of the structure and the basis and the fundamental things that drive the driving force. Because otherwise, I don't think we could function as a society.
Of course you can.
If everything is about power, and that's one of the claims of this more, let's say, postmodernist, kind of like married to a Marxist.
Why can't it work though?
Utopian point of view, is that every relationship, that the fundamental the fundamental driving force which human beings use to interact with each other, and how our hierarchical structure is constructed.
I think both are acceptable.
Is power and not competence, and not compassion, and not what's the other word? Empathy, the ability to put yourself in others' shoes and try to understand their problems and try to help. I believe that human beings, they interact in a natural way, much more from a benevolent urge than a corrupted urge. I think corruption exists.
But that wasn't your question, though. Your question was the dynamics of society.
Yeah.
And that's the dynamics of society.
I don't think it's basically power. I don't know.
But I don't think
it's
on an individual level,
only power.
It's different
when a
than when you
system
talk about
becomes
society.
corrupted, then it could become corrupted into power relationships, and that's what we see on the other side of the world.
I'm failing to see
That's when you
the
that's
picture.
when you get, let's say, totalitarian governments that impose power over its people. That doesn't happen here. I mean,
Of course it
you could say
does.
you could say it's happening right now, but no, no, not to the extent, not to the dimension and to the proportions that it happens on the other side of the world. I'm not saying that doesn't exist within our society, but I'm not saying that's the driving force that motivates people and that drives people to um, within the relationships within one another. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I have two answers to that really quick. I feel like everything can be seen through the scope of the power, but it's not power is not necessarily. I feel like you're attributing a negative connotation to the idea of power because it's power that's oppressing or taking, and therefore this is not how
Well,
society
let's say a
organizes it.
tyrannical power,
Yeah, but
because
I
that's
was
their
just
claim.
talking about power in general. Like we have people who are more powerful than others, and I'm using powerful in a very broad sense. Like you can be intellectually more powerful, you can be physically more powerful, you can be a status, your status
Well,
in the society be more powerful. Like no single individual can dethrone the president of the United
I
States
wouldn't use the
unless
term.
go the Oswald route guy and kill somebody, right? And then there was like the power disappeared instantaneously with like the an assassination attempt. But I don't think like a single individual in society can say, I don't like this president, he should step down. Like it's the power becomes like the power of the people, which are many individuals who individually don't have so much power versus this one powerful figure, which would be like somebody in office or like a president or a boss. Like the power dynamic that you're talking about when companies get canceled or people get canceled, like you have like this more powerful person and all these other people joined together, became powerful as a group, and quote unquote dethroned whatever they did or canceled whoever they wanted. That for me, I'm seeing it maybe wrongly, but through a power dynamic lens.